Welcome and thank you for watching. We are Rains, know the numbers and see the tax impact. We feel it's extremely important for every person to learn their individual tax account. To help you do this, there are two very helpful websites. Rains.countytaxrates.com. You can enter your owner name or the street and address. The street and address can be extremely useful when you are a renter. The other website you can use is rainscad.org. You'll go to search and pay online, and when you get there, it will ask you the same thing. Again, owner name or address here will help you find the account that is related to your property. All of this is public data. You are welcome to search however you prefer. And I've also filtered out the names to be sensitive to what I'm including on the video. The first thing I want to show you is going to be last year's column is what you'll want to focus on, and the adopted tax column. That's the other one you want to focus on. This will show you that this property, as an example, which is very similar to many, the last year was 2283. If this vote passes, the new bill will be 2150. So this will receive a decrease overall. This assessed value is in the 230 range. Sometimes when you get above 300 or 400, somewhere around there, you may not see an overall decrease anymore. And that's just based on the total value of the properties. The other important thing it's going to show you is the exemption amount. This property is receiving its homestead exemption, and that is due to increase, which also helps the property taxes overall decrease. This is really important to point out. If you are a homeowner and the account you have is your primary residence, this should have a number. If it is 0, you are not receiving your homestead benefit. This could have occurred because a form would have been mailed to you after you purchased your residence, say within the first year, and if you didn't turn that back in, your exemption was never placed. The tax office would love to help you get that exemption in place. All you have to do is reach out to them. If you prefer me to confirm something for you, I'm happy to, but your tax office is there to help you make sure that the exemptions are in place. And actually, prior to 2023, this exemption was only $40,000. It's increased over the years because it's helping to offset the market values, so it became way more impactful for you in most recent years, which is why it's so important to make sure it's in place now. Along with this being a decrease overall, the other thing it lets you see is the billings by jurisdiction. So Rains ISD for this account was $957 last year. It's actually going to be $765, almost $200 less. But along with that, the Rains County did increase theirs by roughly $60. So the net effect of this is still a decrease, but there was some absorption by the other jurisdictions. In the seniors, their accounts would look like this. This could be senior or disability. There can be other exemptions in place, but if you have a freeze, this will typically be blue font. Last year's taxes for this person was $36.12, and the new year is $32.82. So it's dropping significantly, but you have to check that your exemptions look valid. If you believe that you do not have an exemption in place, again, even for seniors, reach out to the tax office. They can help you get your account straight. Sometimes when you have recently turned 65 or just filed for that exemption, there is something to the effect that they actually use the next 2 years data to evaluate to make sure that you are getting maximum benefit that you can for that exemption. So if you do have any questions, just reach out to the tax office. I promise they want to help. If you are a renter, the other important piece of this to understand is that you can look at your account from a renter perspective. This is a rental property. The last year taxes was $26.39. The new year taxes is $27.94. So it's increasing by roughly $150. This assessed value is $165,000. So what I like to say currently as a fair estimate is if you think the rental property you're in is at a value of around $150,000, then just estimate that that might be $15 a month extra in rent that your landlord could charge you in the future. If that's a $300,000 value, that might be an extra $30 a month that they could increase. Obviously, you have your rental contract, so that may not happen for some time. But if your landlord is, threatening that it could be significant dollars, it could be $100 a month, pull your account and look at what the assessed value is and really see what the net difference is. If they are stating anything extreme, you should be able to call it out on these numbers and be direct with them and say, look, I pulled your account and all it really is this much. The other thing that's important to see is you can see the same thing. You can see how much they paid in Rains ISD taxes compared to the new year in comparison to Rains County or anything else. So many people do get concerned that we've gone after this VATRE multiple years, and the school will tell you that the need hasn't changed. But one thing that I feel really is important to point out is really the hurdles that the VATRE has experienced over so many years. When this first started, just getting the information out to every voter was an obstacle for them. I know that's how I first got involved. I read their materials and then I went to vote and I was like, wow, this ballot language is scary. How can I help? And that's really how I first got involved. Since then, what I feel is really important to understand is there's been a lot of economic hurdles during these VATRE votes. Along with presidential elections, maybe there were years that we shouldn't have pursued it because not all voters would be informed enough. They're showing up to vote for a president. They never actually read anything about any of the other propositions. Things like that sometimes hurt us as well. But the most important disadvantage, in my opinion, was the market values and the economy shifts. If you look back in 2018, the market value of this property was $97,762. It increases to 102, and then it does a huge bump to 148 and then 151. And if you look in 2023, when this was last pursued, it was 151. We had reached the highest in market values that we had been in a long time. This property alone increased by roughly, half of its value. And so in 2023, when this vote came up, there was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear for people. How high will market values go? And what is our bill expected to be like? And what I feel is so important to point out now is we can look back now and say, you know what, now we can see it. The market value on this account has not changed now for a few years. The market has started to stabilize. But in addition to that, the homestead increases have kicked in. Back in the day, you did not receive the homestead increases that you used to have. The homestead exemption back then was roughly $40,000. And then in 2023, they increased it by $100,000. And so you start getting that benefit right around here. And now we're talking about increasing it by another $40,000. These homestead exemptions are basically meant to help offset the market value increases. It's meant to help our taxes. And it's proof it's working because the last balance that this property owner owed in 2024 was $1,641. If you look prior to that, their bill had gotten up to almost $2,000 in 2021. So it's already decreased by so much that they are now currently paying less than what they paid in 2018. To me, that is such a big deal. Now you can look at your account and say, okay, I know I don't love taxes, but if you look at it overall, the tax balances have been fair. They're coming down. The property tax market values are stabilizing and our homestead exemptions are taking effect. I am comfortable with this and I can feel more comfortable voting for this year more than ever because I can see that the economy seems to be stabilizing and how our property taxes are affected. So I really feel that is a crucial piece that I want people to understand. And the only way you can understand that is looking at your individual accounts. If you have upgrades, if you have some sort of additions, you are going to experience those increases. And I just hope that you can look at your account and see that the increases are reasonable for what improvements you've made and that voting for might still be the best approach because the school still needs this and their ask of the 9-cent increase with your offset of homestead exemption increase are still a fair reason. If you have any questions regarding this, I would absolutely love you to reach out to me. I'm happy to help any way I can. I'm happy to do a personal video on your account if you want me to, and I can send it your way. If you just want to run something by me before you reach the tax office, then absolutely please reach out. I would love to help you make sure that your tax account is where you think it is so that you can make an informed vote for the school. Again, thank you for listening and spend time. Learn about your tax account. I promise it will help you in the long run.